Hey everybody, welcome to Tulsa. Doug and I have been hard at work working on Global 14, trying to get this ready for the beginning of next year. So we're pretty excited about what we've been able to accomplish. We believe that the setup looks exactly the way we would want it to. And just as a reminder, Global 14 has the same core mechanics as Global 36, although it is going to be historically representative of its current time. And so there are some differences that you'll certainly be able to participate in, but you can rest assured that things like terrain and the sequence of play and all the other elements of Global 36 that you're used to are going to be there. So let's talk about Global 14. So first of all, one of the things that should be pretty evident to you is the units are going to be a little bit different. We have an early representation of tanks, we have armored cars, we have a different style of bombers, and these aren't in the initial setup because in 1914, no one had developed those technologies. World War I is going to be groundbreaking. And so in front of you is the 1914 setup, which does include things like Zeppelins and coastal submarines, dreadnoughts, pre-dreadnoughts, and seaplanes, and a number of other elements that you'll recognize, but tailored to the 1914 setup. And we also have camels, we have torpedo boat destroyers, we have colonial infantry, and we have militia, and a number of the organizations that you're familiar with. So what is different? This is not a bipolar world. It's not even a tripolar world. The relationships between various nations have not been solidified. There are nations that might have gone a number of different directions, specifically Italy, China, and Japan, and their relationships to the rest of the nations in the game. And so that's going to be an exciting element as you go to war and as you're building those relationships. Now, also within the game, of course, we have diplomacy. And so our neutral nations are going to have the opportunity to join their historic relationship for the war, or they can be influenced away. And I'll talk about that some more later when I point out the chart. Another thing that I really love about this game are these random events. You see two stacks. They're basically every calendar turn, which is there are 3 calendar turns per year. Each calendar turn, we divide up the world in its 2 hemispheres, east and west. And you will draw 2 of these cards for each hemisphere. And what they'll do is they'll introduce elements that are historically significant to the game, and you'll have to, and they will influence what is taking place. Those are everything from weather to revolts to disease outbreaks, and of course everybody should be prepared for the 1918 Spanish flu, to just technology advances and maybe even some things that go with those relationships. There are over 200 of these cards in the game, so there's going to be a lot of variability. But I'll sneak around over here and point out our diplomacy chart, which has changed in its function and style since our Global 13 expansion. But just like we remember, you'll have the opportunity to move these nations up towards your major power and align them to you. However, other nations can either influence them down, or even within your own alliance, influence them away from you in order to possibly align that nation of Brazil with the British Empire. So who knows where that will go. If Brazil, which is historically going to join the U.S., is moved into the neutral position or towards the opposite alliance, that's going to change history. We also have the tech chart. Something I really love about this game, it was a brainchild of Will's, and we've just carried it on a little further, is that we have tech capabilities as the game advances. As you advance, you're going to gain benefit from those advances as they move down the chart. So fighters can advance, you can develop armored cars as you develop tanks, but this chart has already changed, and we've taken a few elements away from a separate line of effort, such as Q ships, and we've made Q ships part of the convoy system. So as you research into the convoy system, you would gain the benefit of Q ships right away. And you can also see the same thing with poison gas. So those are some of the things I'm really excited about with this game. I think you will be too, and we look forward to getting it out to you. Stand by.